Alright, what's going on, boys? We've been on a roll recently. We got those relic quality of life updates, got the new relic sets, and now we have the new light cones that are coming out with 2.0. These are going to be all 4-star free-to-play light cones that are being added to the store. So you can buy these with the currency that you get by clearing Memory of Chaos and doing your weekly bosses and stuff. They're being added to this store right here. So it's going to be 1 for each path, 7 in total. And yeah, we're just going to take a look at them really quick. If you want to see the article yourself, it will be linked down below. And yeah, I'm not blocking them, right? Okay, cool. So the first one is going to be Destruction. This has Sam in the artwork. This essentially just records the amount of HP loss for the wearer. And then when it exceeds 25%, they heal and increases their damage for 2 turns with a 3-turn cooldown. So this is recorded as cumulative HP loss. So I imagine that's either the character consuming their own HP or getting hit. And it's 25% of their max HP will trigger the effect with 1 turn cooldown in between. Because obviously the damage increase lasts for 2 turns, and every 3 turns it can be triggered again. Next one is a Hunt light cone, which is kind of conditional, but it still seems pretty solid. This is going to be an attack increase and crit damage increase. So increases the wearer's attack by 12%, and then when the wearer lands a crit, they get a stack of good fortune up to 4 times, and then each of these stacks is 8% crit damage. But this resets at the end of the wearer's turn. So when the wearer lands a crit hit, I imagine that can count multiple times in 1 attack. So Yanqing, for example, I don't know what his skill counts as. I think it's 4 hits or 5. But theoretically, if it counts separately, then you would get these max stacks in 1 skill use. And then you could ult, and then you'd have the 32% crit damage before the turn ends. But I'm not sure. I don't know if that's, yeah. But 4 hits, 8% per stack at Superimposition 1. So yeah, that seems like a pretty solid Hunt light cone as a free-to-play option. Next is the Erudition light cone. This is an attack increase, and then when you attack at least 2 enemies with the same weakness as the wearer, it increases their crit damage for 2 turns with no cooldown. So I don't know if that'll like keep refreshing or if it has to disappear before you can put it up again. I'm not sure who this would be good on over current options. This seems pretty solid. This would probably be like, I would imagine, more of like a pure fiction light cone. If you're just like constantly getting that crit damage increase like every time, or keeping that up like all the time. All right, next is the Harmony light cone. This seems kind of interesting. So when the wearer uses their basic skill or ultimate, all allies gain childishness, which is just a buff, which increases their damage to the same ability by 12%. What I read this as is like if the Harmony user uses their skill, then the character's skill damage will be increased. If the Harmony user uses their ultimate, then the ultimate damage will be increased. At least that's what I think that means. Yeah, seems kind of interesting. There's no there's no cooldown, obviously, because if it's on the Harmony wearer, I mean, every time you do something, it's going to reset what this buff is being applied to, right? So I guess this would be better on characters that you're skilling every turn, rather than alternating. I feel like if you're on a skill point positive Harmony character, then this probably wouldn't be as good, right? Because if you're using your basic a lot, then you're just buffing your basic damage, if that's how I'm reading this ability correctly. Still interesting, though. I like where they're going with these new light cones, because they're different. They're different, and I mean, obviously they might be more for upcoming characters that aren't revealed yet or released yet. But so moving on to Nihility, this is more of a self-damage light cone rather than like a support light cone. So every time the wearer inflicts a debuff, they gain a stack of trick, and each trick increases damage dealt by 6% up to 3 times. And then if the effect hit rate of the character is over 80%, increases attack. So up to 18% damage increase and 20% attack increase at level 1. So this definitely seems more of like a damage light cone for Nihility characters. When I first saw this last night, I thought, that's kind of weird. This is only because I completely forgot that like DOT characters exist for Nihility. I know that's like stupid, but like I only have like support Nihility characters, or I only use support Nihility characters. So I was like, well, how would I use that? This would be a solid option for personal damage on a Nihility character, or at least it should be. Moving on, we have the Preservation light cone. Increases wearer's effect resistance by 12%, and then for every 100 defense, increases the wearer's damage by 0.8% up to 32%. So that's obviously a max of 3200 defense on the character. As far as upcoming characters in 2.1, we have Acheron, Aventurine, and Gallagher. Aventurine is going to be Imaginary Preservation 5-star. Gallagher, which we'll get to for this Abundance Cone, is going to be Fire 4-star Abundance. So As far as like a preservation light cone that buffs self damage, perhaps this is going to be for someone that hasn't been released yet. The way that preservation characters work now, it's usually just like buffing their shield, right? And obviously this doesn't have a defense increase. This is just effective resistance and then personal damage. So light cones like this will probably have more value in the future, I imagine. And lastly, the abundance cone. Now this is interesting because when we think of abundance light cones, it's usually either like most of them in the game are either max HP increase, outgoing healing, or energy regeneration. I know there's some effect resistance ones or whatever, but like those are like the majority for abundance light cones. This is break effect, and then after the wearer uses their basic, it restores HP to themselves. I'm curious what this applies to and how this is going to slot into the characters in the future, because like this has to be for someone in the future, right? This has to be like break effect on an abundance character. I've seen a little bit about Gallagher, don't tell anyone, but I'm pretty sure Gallagher has a little bit to do with break effect, but I don't actually know that much about him. And he's going to be in 2.1, 4-star fire abundance. So yeah, break effect on an abundance light cone. I'm curious to see where this goes, but that's all of them. These are going to be available as soon as 2.0 drops in a couple days. So if you've been saving up shards, you can get them as soon as they come out, or as soon as the update drops. So those are all the new free-to-play light cones. As always, the article will be linked down below if you want to read them, or scroll through it yourself. And let me know what you guys think. Are you guys going for any of these? What ideas you have for what characters you might put these on? Personally, I'm sure I'll find a way to use this hunt light cone. This seems pretty good, depending on how these fortune stacks work. But yeah, and maybe this Erudition light cone for Prefiction could be cool too. All right, let me know what you guys think of these light cones. If you made it this far in the video, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to, and follow my Twitch, and goodbye.